Hello. At this time, we're going to learn Hebrew nouns and we are going to compare it a little bit with English nouns so as to have a better picture of Hebrew noun because we know what is English noun. So let's look at nouns in English versus Hebrew. When we talk about nouns in English, it indicates a person, place, or things. Yes, place or idea or even thing. Even in this, that is the same case with Hebrew. It indicates a person, place, or idea. So they are the same in this respect. What is their difference? Well, when it comes to numbers, English has only singular and plural number, but Hebrew has singular, plural, plus it also has dual number, which is not present in English. In terms of gender, English has masculine, feminine, and neuter gender, but in Hebrew we only have masculine and feminine gender. So uh, their difference are not very much. Let's look at how did we get Hebrew nouns. Well, it might not be that interesting to you, but knowing this will help you identify what is noun, what is verb, and so that you could differentiate later uh, from its relative, I would say, adjective. Let's look at noun types of noun derivation from which we could derive noun. Number one, we have primitive nouns. And then second, we have majority of the nouns that are derived from verbs, and few nouns are derived from other nouns. Let's look at primitive noun, which in we don't know how it evolved. They are just there, and we just have to learn. Like for the case of Laila. Laila, this is night. Laila. We don't know how did we get that. There is not no other words that we can relate to. And another example is Yom, day, Yom. We just have this. We don't know where did we get it from. Name, Sem, Sem. We don't know this either. And how about up, father? These are nouns that is just there for the learning. We just have to memorize it. How about the other verbs? Well, if you know verbs, then it'll be easy for you to learn many of the nouns. Here, majority of the nouns are derived from the verbs. Let's look at this word. The var. This is word. Okay, you look at the var. Look at the consonant. They are just the same. We have for both. We have the. Here, you look at the difference is the vowels here. You look at here. So this is the verb. They change the vowel and then we get the word. This is called the bear. He speak. This is a verb. So from here we get the var, word, that is noun. Another example that we can have is from the word zara, he saw a seed, he saw a rice. From this action word, again we change these vowels and we get zera. This is called seed. Zera. You see the accent here. We have to consider that. So this one is zera. So this is, if we talk about the tone syllable that we learned in the morning in the previous video, this is going to be the tone syllable. So zera, that's what we get. So from zara to he saw, we get the word zera, which is noun. Let's look at another example. We have malak, he ruled. This is a verb. This is an act of ruling. From here, we change the vowel and then we get melek. Melek. Again, this is the tone syllable. Take note of this one. From malak, we get melek. How about avat? This is called avat. He served. He served. And from here, we get the noun evet. Evet. Again, this is the tone syllable. Evet, servant. So you'll see that many of the nouns that we have are derived from the verb. So there, if you're alert enough, there could be some association that you could make. So you could associate the verb with the noun, and you'll begin to understand as you progress on. And few nouns are derived from other nouns. Example from the word bakar. This is a herd, a group of animal. So we change the vowel again, and when we have bo care, boker, so we change into Holem Vav and Sere, and then we get herdsman, the one who herds. This is Kerem, Kerem. The tone syllable is the K. Kerem, vineyard. From here, we have Korem, the one who take care of the vineyard is called vine dresser. Again, this is a participle again, but however, it is used as a noun. We have Israel. Israel, this is a noun. And then from here we derive Israeli. Israeli. So it talks about the Israelites. It refers to the people of the Israel. This is Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, Egypt. The sound is not very similar, but this is how we found the name as it appears in the Hebrew. So we have Mitzrayim. From here, we could derive another noun, Egyptian. The people, the national people who hold the nationality of the Egypt is called Mitzri. Mitzri. So you see that there are few ways we could get noun. The first one is a primitive noun. We don't know how we derive, but the noun just exists. We just have to learn. Others, majority of the noun are derived from the verbs. So if you don't the verb, and then from there is a way of getting the noun out of it. And then few nouns, as we can see here, are derived from other nouns. You don't really need to memorize these, but just be aware of it. You just need to be aware of it. Let's look at the type of gender. In English, we say that we have masculine, singular, and neuter. But here in Hebrew, we have only two types of gender, masculine and feminine. Mainly, these are not really talking about the real gender of, of, of the noun or the item that the noun signifies. These are mainly for pattern of inflection. What do you mean by inflection? Well, inflection is we are going to add suffixes to the noun to make it into something else. And so when we classify those nouns into masculine, all the masculine noun will follow a certain pattern, okay? Will follow a certain pattern. And then all those identified as feminine noun will follow another pattern. So it's really for this kind of to help us understand or learn how they changes the kind of pattern that they have, that we need to know this. So uh, they don't really need to talk about the you'll find that some masculine object will follow a feminine pattern of pluralization or of inflection. So this is not really with the real gender. So as we say, it's mainly for the pattern of inflection. The word will follow. Masculine and feminine will take different sets of pluralization. So there are going to be a set of uh, item or suffixes that we are going to add to this to make it into a plural. That is the reason it is important. Well, let's look at numbers. We say that there are three types of numbers: singular, plural, and dual. This is what we have. So we'll look into that. The plural and dual are going to be very similar, but however, they have different function. So try to remember. This you have to memorize. We have masculine and feminine. Feminine, we have singular and plural. Okay. Now let's try to see what is their differences. Let's look at masculine, singular, gender, noun. They don't have rigid form, okay? They don't have rigid form or ending, so they are more difficult. There is no indication in the form of the word itself that will tell you that this is masculine. And also, you just have to look up in the lexicon. What is lexicon? Lexicon is the term that is used for this linguistic dictionary, okay? They are actually dictionary. They are actually dictionary. So you just have to look up to the lexicon, and that's where you'll find. Here we have some examples. Sus, this is horse. And another example that we have is melek, this is king. This is masculine. All are masculine. And we also have the var, word. This is again masculine. And we also have yom. All these are masculine. Now let's look at the feminine. Well, good for you. It is easier to identify feminine singular nouns. Why? Because they have endings. There is a pattern of endings that will tell you that this is a feminine. So if you know this ending, then easily you could identify the feminine noun. So the endings are going to be very, very crucial. Okay, let's look more into it. Let's look more into feminine singular nouns. Why not masculine? Just because they don't have any pattern that we have to memorize, but feminine singular nouns have some pattern that we can follow, and then with which we can identify that this is a feminine noun. Let's look at some of the noun. For as simple references, this is not always true, but most of the time this is true. When a noun is referring to female person or animals, then you can say that, okay, this is a feminine noun. Like this is the word M. So we read it this way. This is silent. We only have Sarah here, so we have M. Okay, we have M, mother. Let's look at another words. We have Isa, Isa. This is woman, Isa. And we have but, daughter. Again, this is daughter is feminine, right? So but is feminine. It'll follow the feminine pluralization pattern. We have Malka. Again, this is queen. So this is feminine. We have from Sus. Sus, we says that Sus, Sus is horse, right? So we add this ending, and then we have a mare or a female horse. You see, they have certain kind of endings, that pattern that started emerging. Okay, take note of this ending. You'll get to learn it later. And generally, noun with, we already see that. We'll have another alphabet here. So we'll have kamet and he. If you have kamet and he, in the end, you could certainly already guess that this is a feminine noun. Or it'll have a tau. Okay, it will have tau. So if it has, then you are already sure that it is a feminine noun. Let's look at this ground. Adama. Adama. This is the word for ground. And then you see that it has a plural ending. So you can see that kamet's he is used for the ending of this word. And then when you see this, just remember that this is a feminine singular noun. Okay, we'll get to learn more about that. Now let's look at another example. This is berit, covenant. This is covenant. Berit, you'll see that the tau is the ending of this word here. So this is another indication that this is a feminine noun. Very good. Now let's look at this one again. Daughter. We come across that in the previous example. Here we have the word but ending in a tau. So this is an indicator that this is a feminine singular noun. Well, what else can we have? Queen. We already encountered that before. So here again you see the kamet's he as an indicator of a feminine singular noun. And we also have here susa. Susa, mare, a female horse, is again ending with kamet's he. So you'll see that when you see a word ending with kamet's he or tau, then it is a very good indicator that this must be a feminine singular noun. Let's look at another indicator. Adding kamet's he to few of the masculine, okay, we are looking at the masculine form of a noun will make them into feminine. So this will require that you already know the masculine, okay? For example, what is Nabi? Nabi is a prophet. And if you add in this Nabi, nothing changes. You only slide in this ending, kamet's he. So it becomes Nabiya, Nabiya, Naviya, or without the dages, it could be Navi, Navim, Navia, Navia, prophetess. So from prophet we get prophetess just by adding this kamet's he. Na'ar, this is a word for a young lad. From here, if we add, but here a few changes, okay? You need some changes here. And then if you add the kamet's he at the end, it becomes a maiden, a feminine word, okay? A feminine word. How about sir? Sir is a word for prince in Hebrew. And if you add the word, the kamet's he at the end, and this become lengthens, there is a rule that I don't know if we are willing to learn this. It'll make your life easier, but learning it will, for a moment, make it difficult. So we have from sir, we have Sarah. So when you add this ending, it becomes from prince, it becomes princess. Okay. Let's look at Melech again. We already know that Melech is king, right? So if you add the ending here again with some modifications here, then you got what is called a queen. Queen, okay? Let's look at the last example. Again, we have Sus. This is horse. And if you add kamet's he to Sus, then you get a mare, which is a female horse. So you see that by adding kamet's he to some of the masculine noun will give you a feminine noun. Let's look at the fourth part. Parts of the body that exist in pairs are usually feminine. Parts of the body in pairs. What are the body parts that we have in pairs? We have feet, we have hand, we have eyes, we also have ears. Let's see what kind of example that we get here. Well, hand, yes. This is the Hebrew words for hand is yad. Yet this is a pair of hand, okay? So this is a feminine. When you want to make it into plural, it's going to follow a feminine pluralization pattern. How about ayin, eyes? Yes, ayin. This again is a pair of body parts, right? So this is feminine. And we also have food, regel. Why do I say re? Because of the accent sign here. So we say regel. This is food. Again, this is feminine. Even though it does not have the feminine ending that we see previously. Still, this one is a feminine noun, okay? There are three types of number that we talk about. Singular number, not identifiable by their endings, okay? The singular, you just have to look at the lexicon. And you have to consult the lexicon. Even for plural, we are going to look at for the plural and the dual, there are endings. They have endings. So we are going to look at the endings of the Hebrew nouns. We are going to divide this into masculine and feminine. We are going to have also singular. Here we have a singular masculine noun, sus. And if and yes, here for the feminine, let's use the word Torah. And for the masculine, sus. Okay, you see the ending here. You see the ending here. Take note of that. So this is masculine and this is feminine. Let's look at how we pluralize sus, masculine. So if for a masculine noun, singular noun, if you want to make it into plural, you just need to add hirek yot and mem sofit. Hirek yot and mem sofit. That's what you have to add. How about the feminine noun? For feminine noun, you have to add, maybe you're going to make some modification here. Instead of kametz, you're going to use holem vav. So, hovelem vav, and then the he turn into tav. Okay? So, when you add this into a feminine noun, it becomes plural. Okay? Feminine singular noun. How about dual? Well, the good things for dual is that it only have one form. Susayim, pathak, yot, hirek, and memsafit. This is also true with both of them. So we have dual, but this is shared by both masculine and the feminine. They have the same form for the dual noun. Okay, so let's look at it again. We have sus, which is a masculine noun. When we want to make it into plural, we are just going to add im, right? Hirek, yot, and mem. So we have susim, susim. That's what we have. And then if you want it to make into this is horses, many horses. If you want to talk about only two horses, then you can use susaim, susaim, okay? Susaim. How about the feminine? Here we have the feminine word Torah. And if we want to make this Torah into many Torahs, many laws, we are going to add this Holem Vav and Tau, Ot, and we say Torot, Torot, and it becomes many laws. But if you want to talk only about two nouns or two feminine laws, feminine noun, two laws, okay, then you're going to add Toratayim. You'll see that the endings here is a little bit difficult, but then you'll get to know it. It's it's the final pathak, hiret, yot, and hirek and mem sofit is what we want to look at. Now let's take out everything and let's keep only the ending. We says masculine singular noun has no ending. We have to refer to the lexicon, right? We have to look at the lexicon. There is no way we can know about that. How about the feminine? Well, it looks scary, but then don't worry about it. All those which have kamets he, patak tau, segol tau, hirek yot tau, or ot. These are feminine sound. Okay, feminine sign. How about plural masculine? You just need to add hirek, yod, and mem suffix, okay? And for the feminine plural, you just need to add holem and tau, holem, vav, and tau. How about dual? Well, you just need to add, and remember the accent sign here, okay? Usually it'll come with this accent sign. So feminine dual has two forms. Can either use this one or it'll use this form. So you just need to memorize. So what I want you to memorize is memorize this one and the previous one, okay? I'll give you, it could come, this one could come. Don't say could come. This one will come for your quiz, okay? On Monday. This will be part of your quiz on Monday. This will surely come, so try to master it so that you don't lose point on this one, okay? What do we talk about lexical form? Let's look at what is lexical form. Lexical form are the form of words found in the Hebrew lexicon. The form you memorize as vocabulary. So whatever you learn in the vocabulary this week is the lexical form, okay? Necessary for looking up words meaning. So if you don't know this lexical form of a word, then it'll be very, very difficult for you to look up in the dictionary. Let's look at, yes, the lexical form of any noun is the singular form, and then mostly masculine, okay? Mostly masculine. Now, we talk a very, very general law, but there are going to be some feminine words or even masculine words, nouns, that will not follow this pattern. Let's look at this one. Endingless feminine nouns. Not all endingless nouns are masculine singular. Okay? In a few instances, feminine singular nouns are also endingless. I think we already see that in some of the example. Let's look at some of these example here. We have eben, even, okay, stone. So you'll see that this has no ending, the one that we expect, kamets, hey? It doesn't have, but still this is a feminine. So these are endingless feminine nouns. And again, land, eretz is another feminine noun. Let's look at city, ear. See, it doesn't have this form or any of those tau. It doesn't have. So these are endingless feminine nouns. So not all endingless nouns are feminine. Okay, you just need to be aware of that. Exception to normal pluralization. Some singular nouns of one gender take the plural endings of the other gender. Well, let's see. We have up, father. This is a masculine noun, okay? However, when it becomes plural, we might expect the yim, okay? The yim, hirek, yot, and mem to be there, but it's not. It takes the plural form of the feminine. Let's look at some special dual nouns as well. We have mayim, water. So how do you pluralize this one? Samayim, and this mitzrayim, they take the plural form, but they don't really indicate any duality, or because we don't have two heavens, we don't have two Egypt, we don't have two waters. What do we do? Maybe say when we read the creation account, God says there are water above and water below, right? I don't know if that is referring to that, but then water is just water. You could not have two waters, right? Unless it is filled in a bottle or a cup, and then it's not waters anymore. It's cups or bottles. And how about Samayim? We could only see one heaven, but we still have it. And when you translate, you could translate heavens or even without this, it's still okay. How about Mitzrayim? They says there used to be in ancient time what is called lower and upper Egypt. So I don't know if that is why we have the name Mizraim. But when we write, we don't write Egypt. We only write Egypt. So kindly take note of this, okay? Again, let's see, irregular stem chains. There are some Hebrew nouns which will alter their actual consonantal, okay? Stem, when they added their plural endings. We'll talk about stem later, okay? We have yom, day, and the Holem Vav drops and remains only with Yod and Mem, and with the additional of this, you'll see that the Holem Vav turn into a Kametz. So there is no explanation for this. You just need to be aware of it. You just need to learn. And how about man? Is. This is a word for is. And woman, we just add isha, right? And we make it plural. But how about when we want to talk about many men? It's not isim. Okay, we might expect to have that for the ending, but it's not. It's isim. It's not isim, okay? It's going to be a nasim, a nasim. And there is no way you could explain this. There is no rules for this. You just need to learn, okay? Even though we have the Hirek Yot and Mem Sofit here, but how do we get the Nun and Kametz here? There is no explanation. And how about woman? It says is Isha, okay? We have Isha. This is Nasim again. See, they just cross this one out and then make it to a woman. So how do you explain this? It's difficult, right? You just need to be aware of it. But there are not many of them, so it's okay. You'll be able to manage it. Let's look at also a defective way of writing the ot, the plural form of the feminine noun. We already learned that this is what do we say is the defective writing. We learned it in the previous class. So we have a da congregation. We could have it as a dot. You'll find this one. You'll also find a dot. So just remember that these are many times written defectively, and just be aware of it. Just try to read, and then the sound is still the same. A dot, a dot. There is no difference in that. So just be aware of that. Now let's have some guided practice. Let's try to add this noun and make it into plural. Well, it gives us a good hint here. We have bore. You have bore. How do we make it into plural? You need to add this one. So we have borot. So you just add this one to the noun and make it into plural. This is pit. This is going to be pits. How about sus, horse? We are going to add sim, susim, right? And then we have horses. And how about halom, dreams, helom, helom? We are going to have helomot, helomot. We are going to have dreams, okay? How about Rehob, Rehob street? We are going to add this one. We have Rehobot, Rehobot. So we have streets. Let's look at this one again. Gevul, boundary. And we just add gebulim. So we make it into a plural, right? Boundaries. How about nabim, navim? Yes, this is Navi, a prophet. If you want to have if you want to talk about lots of prophets, we have Nevi'im. So we have prophets. Okay, this is some of the examples that we can see. So I left some for you. Even in the presentation, you would find it. Try to work into that, okay? And here are some, but for this video, I don't think it is wise to go that length. And then this is for your syllabification. I'm going to give you a worksheet. I'm going to send you. You're going to work this. You see here, even though I says half vowels will not form syllable, but I'm going to follow Van Pelt, Practical and Van Pelt workbook, so they like to have it as separated. So just be aware of that. So wherever you can put syllable, just put, okay? Just put as we have it here. Abraham. So we have Abraham. So how many syllables we have here? We have 3 syllables. How about Gebira? Gevira. So we have 3 again here. How about Huka? Since this is the guess forte, the Q becomes 2, right? So we have Huka. We have 2 syllables. And how about Yabasa? Yabasa. And again, this is a Begat Kafat letters, but it is preceded by a vowel, any vowel. So this becomes a the case forte, not lene. So we have 2 bet here, and we have 3 syllables. How about keaser? Here again, K is first in the word, so it's not preceded by vowel. So this is a lene. So we have 3 keaser, 3 syllabification again. And then I'm going to give you another work where you have to work with identifying the dages. Here you have to see what is this dages, and also you have to look at this shawa. So pull out your dages lene and dages forte rules, and also the shewa rules, and try to work with it. In that, you will surely need to know what is gutturals and begat kefat letters, okay? So you need to revise all these things. So, and also you need to look at the vowels, whether they are short or long, okay? At least you need it for one of them. For the guess, at least you need it. So this is, I already sent you. I'll not ask all of these, but then these are the kind of questions you could expect for the next quiz. Thank you so much.